So I was going to make a little compilation reel of cute moments from this year, but I started to do that and it was taking too long, and it's already 7:52, and I just don't want to spend the rest of my last day of 2023 doing that. So I've decided to just make a little reel of my face. And the reel that is happening right now is just things that got me feeling like I did that in 2023. So I expanded my mindfulness practice with consistent yoga when I found that I couldn't sit to meditate at the start of this year. Eventually, I did get kind of back into meditation, but it's still not as consistent as it used to be in previous years. I started doing coaching with Pew the Fairy, which I couldn't recommend highly enough. I designed and coded my first website from scratch. I jumped back into work with song Southerners on New Ground. I made my apartment so cute, just the way I like it. And there are things that I'd still like to add and adjust. But I've met all of my goals for it this year, 2023. Like it's met the benchmark that I had for 2023. 2024 though, that's a whole different story. I joined a rock climbing gym, which I have been wanting to do for years. I made some new friends and deepened pre-existing relationships. I started reading more fiction, which I have been wanting to do for a while, but I don't know. I think I was like stuck in this. It needs to like serve a purpose, which fiction does serve a purpose. I'm not saying it doesn't, but like I was really stuck in this. I need to be able to like learn from something. And I've been reading fiction before, but it feels like this year fiction has held a different position in my reading goals, or like the things that I feel like I'm gravitating more towards, which is a nice change of pace. I actually finished reading 3 books, which were 2 biographies slash memoirs and 1 sci-fi book. And then I got through maybe half or most of an additional 4. It depends on the book. And there's a part of me that wants to give a disclaimer and be like, I know that this isn't a lot. Like there are people who are like, read all the time. But then I'm also like, bro, I am where I am and this is great. I love this for me. And I feel like this is actually pretty average for me, but for some reason this year it feels really good. I think because the books that I read really just felt, when I read them, they felt like perfect timing for kind of the themes that were featured in the stories. I acted in 2 short films. I completed Improv 101 and 201 and did the showcase for each. Moving towards and like focusing more on connections that have a greater sense of integrity and honesty. It just makes sense for me because I'm such an honest, clear, and communicative person. Why would I be around people who are not on that same wavelength? For the most part, I am. Obviously, I'm a human. We all fail and fuck up, and sometimes I do things that I'm not aware of. And then I go back and I'm like, hey, I realized I fucked up. I joined a book club, which was kind of like part of me reading a little bit more. And I think I actually did read more books than I counted, but those are the ones that I actually got at least half of the way through. I started doing Alex L's Rise and Write Club, which has helped me get more consistent again with writing, because this year I really like, at least at the start of the year, I don't know, I'm always writing, but like I think I'm used to having a very consistent practice with it, and so this year it has kind of felt all over the place, which everything has kind of felt all over the place for me this year. And that makes sense. I feel like it's like this has been one of those years of upheaval, because I had to kind of like re-establish my foundation in a lot of ways. And yeah, so anyways, I joined Alex L's Rise and Write Club, which, yeah, got me more consistent with writing, and also more comfortable sharing my writing, like more practiced at it, because I want to say I haven't like vocally shared writing consistently like this since I was in high school. Um, so that was a while ago, like 7 years or so, 8 maybe. Um, so that's pretty awesome, especially because I love writing and I do like sharing it. I am just sometimes so shy. I don't even get it because I'm like, I don't think of myself as a shy person, but I don't know. I can be very shy, but I can also be very not shy. Ah, human. The duality of man. Oh, I also started taking yoga classes midway through the year, in addition to doing yoga at home, um, which has helped me feel more comfortable being seen. It has been like a pleasant way to connect with community that in that realm of things. Because I mean, I still do yoga at home, but and it's not like I've been doing it super consistently. Like I did it in July and I in December, I believe. Maybe I think that's it. Um, but yeah, that's been nice because yeah, it's just been nice, especially just this year and feeling so much like I don't have permission to exist. Not that I need permission, I definitely do not, but feeling like I have to constrict myself in order to be valid, or I don't know. If you know, you know. But yeah, it's just been nice to be doing stuff like that again because I am the type of person who likes to do many things in many different physical spaces, and that was like a physical space that I really valued being in. That has been a physical space that I really value being in. I was saucing like every single day, most days. Hashtag swag on a millie on some drip too hard, don't stand too close. You gonna fuck around and drawing off these wave shit, right? I can't take myself seriously. I'm just having a good time. It's New Year's Eve and I don't actually have any plans, which is nice because sometimes I just be doing stuff just because I'm like, oh, I feel like I should be doing something. And so far my plans have been I've gotten, it's in the other room, it's in the kitchen, a bottle of sweet red wine and some sunflowers because I've been wanting to buy myself flowers for like a couple weeks, but I just really wasn't seeing anything that caught my eye. And anyways, they had sunflowers at the grocery store today, so I got me some sunflowers. And next time I get flowers, I think I'm gonna do an arrangement. Mm-hmm. um like not buy it, but like, you know, buy some, you know, couple different types of flowers and arrange it myself because that sounds fun and it's something I want to do. So that's probably one of the first things I'll do in 2024. But so we're talking about 2023, so let's get back on track. So yeah, I was saucing. I looked really cute this year, and that's like the one thing I really wanted to include in this reel, but it was like too much work. And again, it's 8 o'clock, so yeah. Um, and then I did. Hold on. Oh, I watched more film and television that I actually really loved, which has been so pleasant because I think in years past it's felt so almost like fleeting or intangible or like just out of reach to like find multiple television series or films that align with my personal interests, not because they're not out there, but because I feel like a lot of the stuff that like would pop up on my suggested or whatever weren't exactly, or like things that are popular aren't exactly always my vibe. But I feel like that's changing now. Also, like as I'm being in different social spaces, I'm getting more recommendations that are more attuned to like what resonates with me because I'm like with more people that resonate with me. So So that's freaking cool. And my algorithms are getting pretty good. And also just new television. There's more like, I think something that I really was missing in the past is like certain black media. And there's, I feel like, a wider variety of black stories available online that pique my interest. So that's pretty awesome. And then the last thing I wrote on this list for things that got me feeling like I did that in 2023, and mind you, I'm sure there's plenty of other things that I did because I just be doing stuff, but this was a big one. I did so much work to heal from the awful things I experienced in my childhood and past relationships. Like every day, something new came up, whether it was a memory I'd forgotten or suppressed, or a feeling that I hadn't realized I'd felt about a past circumstance. So like, yeah, like I didn't feel it when it was happening, but it was coming up for me in this moment, having that memory resurface or like looking at it through a different lens and being like, that was fucked up, and I actually had suppressed this feeling of like rage or like this feeling of being hurt or whatever the case was, right? Especially started to happen as I started to do more yoga. It was like this energy was trapped in my body, and as I started to have like a more consistent practice of movement that was like mindful movement, intentional movement, these memories and feelings were unlocked and released from my body, which also meant like more of me just feeling through all of it. It's actually so interesting the way that it happened, because it would be like I would be doing yoga and like I would start remembering something that I just had no recall of it, up until like that moment where it literally felt like it was physically being released. Very wild stuff, or at least surprising to me, because I ain't never heard nobody like that happening to anybody personally. Or maybe I just haven't been around people who are talking about that sort of experience. And I know that the body holds memory, and the body, yeah. But it is so, it's been very interesting to experience that. So yes, I have been doing the work of moving through each and every emotion and memory as they arise. And that, I feel, is a huge accomplishment, because it's a lot of shit that came up. Like, I'll be honest, I've had so many different periods of my life that have felt so disconnected from one another, and like I just was either dissociated or like, yeah, just some form of disconnected. And there's never been a period of my life other than now where I completely like felt in touch with all aspects and elements of me and all memories that I have. So it's been a wild ride. I'm very proud of myself for that. And I honestly have to thank my commitment to years of practicing meditation for priming me for this sort of activity of feeling my feelings. Because I think like I've been practicing feeling my feelings for a while, but there's been so many things throughout the years that I never got to move through that I actually had the opportunity to move through this year. So yes, very cool. Also, shout out to my therapist. She's been holding it down. Okay, well, those are the things that happened in 2023 that had me like, I did that. And yeah, thank you for watching if you did. And I hope that you have a lovely end to your 2023, that like whatever you need to like close out this chapter, that it comes to you, or that you're able to like cultivate that space for yourself, and that there is 2024 brings whatever you need to receive, whatever you need to acknowledge, to shift into, to grow, to be a more authentic and heart-centered or led you, if that's your desire, which I hope that's everybody's desire, because we all deserve to be in touch with ourselves and all that good stuff. So much love, much love.